Welcome everybody to another episode of Command Combat Computer Reports. Today we have Napoleon Total War, and with me is Cliff and Troy.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello! Today we are by the pyramids here. I guess we're all fighting against that. I feel like we should be having Lawrence of Arabia music.
Is it just me, or is it a little arid in here?
It is kind of cool because we do actually have the heat wave effects. We can actually see the mirage kind of, although once it's in motion. Right now it's frozen, so that we can look at our sides. Over here we've got, on the Ottoman side, we've got the, well, how do we say this, Cliff?
But the Mamluks?
Nope, Bashi Bazooks. See that on the, right here, it says right there. And they're swordsmen. We're going to be... Actually, Cliff is a historian. He specialized in... Or he's a military historian. He specialized in Napoleonic era. So he's going to help us with some of these things. So we got the Ottoman Empire Bashi Bazooks. Nazim Credit Infantry. Is that probably?
Yeah.
And then we've got some howitzers here. Oh, yeah, if you want to say. 18-pounder foot artillery. Back there we got Ibrahim
Pasha. He's a governor in this area, and
A bureaucrat?
yes, a bureaucrat, but also a warrior bureaucrat.
Was he any good?
Not particularly.
Well, that's him, and I think he can hear you now. He's probably insulted. They got some Silahar guard back there. It's heavy cavalry, and then the Delhi horsemen. Am I saying it right, or am I just screwing it all
Yes,
up?
it's Delhi horsemen. No, Troy, that does not mean they cut meat.
They're not going to deliver sandwiches?
No.
And then here we have the Chaternal camel gunners. Is that?
Yeah, this was a disaster waiting to happen. Camel cavalry. They're very good at long range fighting, but they make really easy targets for infantry and artillery.
Oh, well, I think the camels could hear you too there.
Because of their high profile?
Yes.
Now over here we've got the Nizam 1 credit rifles, so it's the skirmishers over here. Now here's what's interesting. What do you think of their setup here? Because usually you have the skirmishers in front of the main lines, but here they've set them off way over to the right side. They have cavalry kind of in the middle, then artillery, and then a bunch of infantry here that are behind this hill. What do you guys think of this setup?
I don't like it. No, sir, I don't.
This is a really bad idea because your skirmishers are supposed to be somewhere out front, but the problem is that Mamluk cavalry was the heart of Mamluk army. So infantry usually is not particularly well thought of, and they're not well trained. So these guys are basically in the area so they can run away.
Oh, okay, so they're basically behind the hill, sort of stay hidden, so the others can't really see them. Well, let's take a look at the Austrians. Now they're uphill here. You'll notice that the Ottomans are at a disadvantage. They're down the hill, and the Austrians are up the hill. However, the steep hill the Ottomans are closer to. So the Austrians here have got Hungarian Fusiliers. Is that right?
Right. Yeah.
A whole slew of them. They've got one group that's a little ahead of the others. A long line of them, and one over here sort of on their left, our right. 6-pounder foot artillery, 6-pounder foot artillery, their general staff over here on their right, and dragoons holding up the left, and Hungarian hussars holding the flank. Okay. So what do you guys think of that?
This is a really good setup because basically the infantry is going to break the back of the Ottoman cavalry. A cavalry on cavalry fight, the Ottomans will have the advantage. They have better horses, they're far better trained. But if they go against the infantry, they won't have a chance.
All right, well, let's see how it goes. We have it on pause here. We're about to unpause it, and let's see the Ottomans versus the Austrians.
The other thing to note about this particular scenario, in particular because of wide open landscape, cell phone reception was awful.
Really was way out in the middle of nowhere. They're not going to have good command control at all.
I beg to differ. The pyramids make great cell towers.
Right, but the bandwidth was primarily used for AM/FM.
Well, yeah, well, you do have that problem.
Plus, the aliens had all the leasing rights to them.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Those damn aliens. All the time.
That's true.
Troy is our History Channel aficionado. So, all right. So at the beginning, we have a lot of the light cavalry from the Ottomans moving forward.
This is the Ottoman tactic. Rush in with your cavalry because that is the main arm of their armed forces. Now, if they're smart, they're going to try to circle around that infantry and get to the rear.
Well, look at this guy. He is slow. There's one guy there who's just like, no, wait for me, wait for me. I can do it. I'm one of yours. But it looks like they are taking the hill. Look at that up there. You've got the hill up there, and it looks like they are sort of
The
establishing.
Austrians are
Austrians
not
are
going to
moving
wait
here.
for them to come.
Oh, now here the Austrians have moved their cavalry up. It looks like they have accepted that they. Oh, there's some slow guys again. What is the deal with these slow guys? They're knocking somebody else there. Anyway, they have sort of accepted. Okay, the Ottomans have the hill. They're not going to go up there. Oh, some of them are dismounting here.
Yeah, these are dragoons. They're going to take the hill because they're basically infantry on horseback.
Although, if they're not going to move forward, well, slowly they're starting to move forward, and looks like the Ottomans are slowly moving up there. They're bringing their rifles up there. The rest of the infantry is slowly moving up there. They're moving their artillery as well.
The Ottomans need to put their artillery here on top of this, where the town is. They'll have a better chance of holding the hill. Otherwise, cavalry cannot hold the hill.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they're bringing their rifles, but the Austrians are bringing up. Man, look at that! A whole wall of their infantry. Cliff, you may be right about that. That if they play their cards right, they're just going to walk right over the Ottomans here.
And now the infantry's dragoons are trying to flank them.
Yeah, here they come.
I think that's a very aggressive, very good move on the part of the Austrians to force that infantry to engage on the flank rather than handling the cavalry coming up.
Oh, look at that! The rifles have now put down their spikes, and it looks like the Austrian. Yeah, and plus, there's one thing, when they attack, when you have horse against camels, the horses do not like the smell of those camels, so they get freaked out by that. And the Ottomans are throwing everything into...
They've made the mistake, they've left their flanks open, and the infantry is coming up to take the hill.
Yep, they are moving up there, the Austrians are going to try... Look, they've stopped! Look at that, that was probably a fatal mistake of the Austrians. They did not take advantage. However, they have pushed away a lot of the Ottomans. Look at that. They scared away. I think that's the camels are moving away.
Not standing in this fight.
And look at that. The light infantry, that cavalry is already almost hurt. The Ottomans, while they had that early advantage, they are really hurting up there, and the Austrians are hurting them with that artillery. They're slowly moving up with some of their artillery.
Too little, too late.
Yeah.
I'll call it now.
And right here, these are howitzers. They need to stop right here.
Oh, you know what? The howitzers are back here. That's what's been firing. You've been noticing some of the fire up here? That's the howitzers. So then they have the 18-pounders moving up there.
They need to knock down that infantry.
Yeah.
They do not have a chance. They do not have a shot here.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, they can't quite hit them. And you know, you're having this rifle against rifle, and the artillery. I mean, everybody is against these the Ottoman rifles.
No match.
Why aren't the Ottomans bringing those in there the spikes?
Yeah, well, I think
we're going to get some.
Yeah.
That's what they're supposed to be. They're supposed to be slow.
Do you suppose they told them that in the recruiting office?
I don't think so.
By the way, you're all going to be slaughtered.
Notice how these guys are turning in the wrong direction.
Oh yeah, that's how guy. He's like, dude, turn around, turn. You're attacked.
He's slowly moving to the rear.
Yeah, like I killed, and yeah, the rest of them are all moving to her. However, the artillery is now set up with the infantry in support, so the
they don't have enough.
They don't. Yeah, you're right.
They do not have enough infantry.
And they're moving in front of their own cannon. So
yeah, they have started whatever barrage of artillery they are preparing to do is not enough.
Oh, and look at it. It is already getting hit by that Austrian. Yeah, they're getting really pummeled by that Austrian. 3 batteries of Austrian artillery back there.
And the Austrians are stretching out their line long enough so they can turn and flank.
Oh, there we go. We missed this. The Ottomans came around the hill, apparently. We did not see it. And they're doing a flank attack through the trees. Yeah, they got their light cavalry. They've used the cavalry for what they're supposed to be used for, and they have a couple of units of infantry here. They even faked out the cameraman.
Well, do you think this is a huge feint?
That might have.
The Ottomans?
That's probably right. No?
It may have been a feint, but fighting in trees is the worst place for cavalry.
It is true. However, it is the desert. There aren't that many trees. I don't know. It's because of course they didn't get.
Unless there's water there.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
And now the Austrians are going to break.
Oh yeah.
Break their line.
Here they come. The Austrians have come in, and they are taking on the Ottomans right then and there.
Well, the Ottomans
Although they do now have 2-3 units in there against 1 unit of
And this
the
group is
Austrians.
just standing there doing nothing.
Yeah.
They've managed to push this group of Austrians back.
Well, they can pinch these guys off.
And they are.
Get some momentum back.
Sir, our general is under attack.
Now they have pushed that 1 unit of Austrians. You know, one thing that we've been saying that with the Ottomans, but you notice the Austrians have not been following. They'll send in 1 attack and then no one else goes in there.
I am very impressed at this point with the Austrians starting strategy, but also their ability to see the battlefield and adjustments fluidly.
Yeah.
They've made better choices than the Ottomans.
Oh, now here come the Ottoman heavy cavalry running around the side there, running on the flank, and running around the trees.
If the Austrians form a square, the heavy cavalry is lost.
Yeah.
But they're moving in line. They're going to be slow.
Well, here they are. They're taking out some of the guys retreating and going after the general, the Austrian general. They have gotten around behind them. It's another one of those things
This
where
is not looking too good for the Austrians.
All of a sudden,
this might
will
be
the
it.
Ottomans grab defeat from the Johns or grab victory from the Johns?
It looks like it.
Yeah, and you see this is that original unit that was back there.
Conversely, can the Austrians grab defeat from the Johns and victory?
Yeah.
Like they're going to do it.
It could be. They're taking their general out here.
Here's the Austrian heavy
Our
cavalry.
men are running.
Oh, but notice that they dismounted, and so now it looks like they are in line over there. So
Going for the artillery.
yeah, so that might actually take out that Austrian artillery that's been doing so much.
Like a
Maybe.
tidal wave.
Wow, and they did not switch to their grape shot fast enough. And, yeah, canister quick enough. So, and the general is still wrapped up in it. The general is going after them up, and it broke. The Austrian general is gone now,
They are defeated.
and they are going to sweep up that artillery.
This is unbelievable.
Real switch here. Let's take a quick. Oh, and looks like the Austrian cavalry is like, get back to your horses.
Who need to get back on horseback?
Well, like
Yeah.
I said at the very beginning, I believe the Ottomans are more highly predictable and thus have the advantage of having something like this happen.
Yeah,
I
that
said
is
it.
true.
I mean,
Really, I did. Now you can see they're getting on their horseback going, okay, let's go save the artillery. But the artillery is probably lost.
They are running.
Yeah. And you can see off in the distance there, you can see that the Austrian infantry is failing way back in the background there.
They're falling apart. They've lost their command and control.
Yep. And once that happens, you start losing a lot of people. I did notice there were some cavalry, some horses there that had no riders on them.
What I'm interested here, Jeff,
Uh-huh.
is if now that the Austrians' desperate attention is focused on this, what's happening
And the other,
major?
well, in fact, you can see it looks like all of the Austrian infantry has retreated. They have been defeated. They are all running. All you see there is Ottomans. So they.
Now the question is, are the Ottomans just willing to let their heavy cavalry just, if necessary, get decimated to try and finish things off on the main battle?
Well, they're running the Austrians out into the main desert. They're done.
Yeah, they're done. All the Austrian infantry is done. All they have left is this cavalry. In fact, these horses are just homeless now.
They're no dragoons. Those are all dead dragoons.
Yeah. So and now you can see
Suddenly I'm hungry for
and that is it. That's the last of the Austrians. The Ottomans have actually pulled this out. That was exciting.
I have no idea where they pulled it out of.
I think it was one of the camel's asses. Well, thank you all for watching. Be sure to subscribe and keep on watching our videos there. Happy gaming, everybody.